How's it going, everybody? Wherever you listen to this podcast right here, this is episode 141 of the TempahZone podcast with your host, me, Amir Max, and that's all facts. And ladies and gentlemen, my special guest in the Zoom building can spit his ass off, all right? I mean it when I say that, man. This dude right here just has a really dope, powerful, strong sound, and the way he raps absolutely matches his rap name as well. Ladies and gentlemen, I got Easty The Muscle in the Zoom building with me.
Yeah, you.
What up, EC? How we doing today, man?
Oh, it's just another day above this side of the ground. It's a good day. Worked all day, but it's a good day. I'm here. We're in the Zoom building, Zoom dome, whatever we want to call it.
I've been calling it the Zoom building. Yeah. It's funny because I'd have guests on and I'm like, I got blah, blah, blah in the building. And I realized over time, I'm like, we're not in the building. We're not in the same building at all. We're in two different locations. So I would just call it the Zoom building now. I'm just like, let me be a lot more specific about what we're doing. Yeah.
I dig it. How you doing?
Bro, I'm doing well. I'm doing great, man. I got, good people around me. I got good family and I'm appreciative of the little things, bro. That's how I really feel.
Hell yeah. I dig that, bro. You gotta love the little things.
Exactly, man. And that's the whole
Don't
point.
take it for granted.
Yeah, exactly. Don't take things for granted. I think that just, comes with being older. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't realize these things when you're 21, 20, and you think you understand it, but you really don't at those ages. You really don't.
No. I mean, I look back at my old self and I'm like, damn, I really did think I knew it all. And I don't know half the shit I knew back then. So growing up is, it's a gift and a curse.
Yeah, no, seriously, man. Yeah, it's definitely, you got to weigh the pros and cons and just, look at things in certain ways. But, I think I like being older. I'll definitely say that, and I say that until I turn 40 or something. Because,
I know, right?
Yeah, people always, I guess this is an age where, you could be, I'm 26. And so I'd say, this is, 26, 27, 28, 29. Like, those are definitely like those ages where, like, you feel like you're in your prime, like in terms of overall everything, and the way you think, look, and act, and can move. So, yeah, man.
Well, I just turned 30, so yeah. So
I wouldn't even think. I thought you were right. I wouldn't even think you're around my age. Yeah.
No. But
like
that being said, no, not much at all. But that being said, these next 4 years for you, you're gonna learn a lot too. Because I learned a lot from like 26 to right now. I learned so much more, even just about myself. Even like certain things. I mean, and your body, they aren't lying when they say your body changes every few years. Like, and I don't mean to say it like an old man. There's things that I can't do. All right, perfect example at the New Year's show.
Yep.
I had to walk out at one point. I was right up in the front, but I had to walk out at one point because it was so fucking loud in there. And the group that was on, no disrespect to them because they were killing it. But I was like, I feel like I'm going to have like a heart attack in here or something. I'm like, I got to go outside and get some fresh air. So I like literally went outside for like one song and went back in and but like back in the day, I used to be the one that was like jumping up and down. I'm like, I can't even jump around anymore. I can when I'm up there, but after that, that's like my energy for the night. Like that's it.
Yeah, you hone in. Yeah, you got your own energy for when you're on there, man. That's one thing I was definitely gonna mention, man. Like, dude, when the wife beater was on, man, when you were rocking that shit, I was like, oh shit, Easty going in right now, man. And that was my first time seeing you perform live, so I was just like, I was very familiar with CXP and Shawn Mikes, but for you, I was like, I'd never seen you perform live, so I was like, these three together is a unit, man. This is a big.
Oh
shit.
Hell yeah! I got them right behind me. I got that CXP shirt up there, and I got the Mass Made shirt up there. Those guys are my guys, but I always liked entertaining the crowd, and the shirt comes off now for the wife beater. I mean, I don't think I'm going to take the wife beater off. I got no six pack under there. I don't got no muscle right there. I like pizza and ice cream too much. But, but that being said, like, I sweat. So like when I'm up there, I'm pouring sweat, like, and I just, half the time I got a nice shirt on or something, like a fresh new shirt. I'm like, I don't really want to get that too sweaty or anything. this is another thing. As I got older, I learned if I wear that shirt when I'm performing and I get it all sweaty and it's New Year's Eve and I go outside in that shirt, I'm going to be freezing in about 5 minutes. So, it's just, honestly, it's not even like a showing off thing. I'm just like at that,
You need to,
whatever time it comes off, it needs to come off at that point.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I don't perform in jackets or hoodies, bro.
No, I can't. I don't know how people.
No. But I don't do it. Just don't do it.
No, I did it one time only because I was kind of like a surprise. I mean, this was like 6 or 7 years ago. I was kind of like a surprise guest. So I came in with the hoodie on and I actually had a bandana around my face.
Oh, shit.
And when I came in, but like that all came off after the first verse. Like it was all off because I was like, I'm dying in here. But yeah, that's a rule for me too. Now that I get older, no hoodies, no jackets. I'm not that fresh dude that can be up there all smooth. Like I just gotta go and go. You know, that's my style. Just going in and giving it your all, and leaving it all out on the stage.
Yeah, exactly, man. You ever bought the towel, the towel rag?
Oh yeah,
okay, that's when you really sweat on stage. You need to bring a towel.
Well, funny enough, when I say dressing nice, like I used to be in a band for a little while, and we did mashups, and
like a rock band.
Yeah, so that's kind of a funny little story in itself. I did a show. My boy was doing like a Hempfest pre-rally show type thing in Quincy Center, literally 7 or 8 years ago, probably. And he asked me to perform last minute. So I'll never forget the DJ who ended up being the DJ for the rock band. I didn't know this at the time. Like I didn't know the rock band at all. And I go into the show and I'm like, here's my flash drive. And the DJ was like, I don't take flash drives. And I was like, well, how are we supposed to play my show tracks? I'm like, I didn't bring a burned CD or anything, which I actually normally did at that point too. That's how old I am. But I'm like, I don't got that. I'm like, the only other thing is I got him on my phone. So he plugs my phone in and we play it off my phone through the speakers. Like it was kind of like, but I was like, I was getting pissed at him. I'm like, what do you mean you won't take my USB? Like, what is this? So anyways, like the show ended up being packed. It was this little dive bar, but it was nuts to butts. And fucking the front windows, they had the front windows open and it was Quincy Center. There was always people out there. It was like a Thursday night or something. And actually like 2 or 3 kids that I had played baseball with growing up had heard me outside and just stuck their head in the window and then came running back inside. And they're like, yo, I didn't know you were rapping, like whatever, da-da-da. But anyways, the band was all at this show. And I didn't know them. But like a day after the show, the lead singer hit me up and these guys were like, so the lead guitarist, he was Jay. Well, he still is Jay. And I call him Dad because he's bald with a beard, big dude. So he's my band dad. Then there's Steve is the DJ. Adrian, rest in peace. He was the lead singer. Scotty was the backup guitarist, rest in peace. Murph was the bass player, and then we had Johnny Mac was the drummer. So we were Bring the Noise. And we did like classic rock songs because these dudes we took the picture the first night to announce me in the band, and Steve he's like 31 now. He was only a year older than me, but everybody else was like 40s. And it looked like Adrian put the picture up and he captioned it, Dave Eastman volunteers at a retirement home because it's all these old dudes. And so these dudes, they loved the 80s rock, the 90s rock. I mean, the shit that my dad was playing when I grew up. So I knew all these songs. But they they wanted a rapper and they wanted to do like mashup songs. So we did some of them I did my own verses on. Like we did War Pigs and I spit like a couple different verses over War Pigs.
That's hard.
Yeah. And but we did big rap songs too. Like we did What's the Difference? I did Exhibit and Eminem's verses over the Cranberries, Zombie. We did the best one we ever did was Paradise City by Guns N' Roses into AC/DC Back in Black, and I did Rough Riders Anthem over
Oh
Back in
shit.
Black.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
so, but to
Oh
bring it
man,
back to
that's
the
dope.
towel, yeah, to bring it back to the towel,
Yeah.
we sold out. We sold out the Hard Rock in Boston, and I was dressed like to the nines. Like I had shorts on, but I had like a nice button down collared shirt. Like we were in the green room. It was like a sick show, but I was wearing so all the band shows. They would all wear all black, and I'd usually wear like a white button down shirt or a white tank top or something. I always, for the band, had the towel with me because we'd go on for, like a set at rap shows like 15, 20, maybe 30 minutes if you're the headliner, in these smaller shows. And the band was going on for 3 45-minute sets throughout the night. So we were going in, and not every song was a mashup. So like I got some breaks, but even when I'm on break, I'm standing up on stage. I'm not just going to be standing on the side, so I'm jumping around. I'm getting the crowd into it. But that's partly where the energy comes from too. Like all the rock music that I grew up listening to. AC/DC was one of my favorite bands growing up. So I always would watch their old, performances. I had a DVD of one of their shows. And just like I said, just always wanting to leave everything out there. I mean, whether I was playing sports or, this is kind of like a sport in itself. And I got too many competitive juices in me to not leave everything I can out there,
Yeah.
Sweat. I haven't really gotten too bloody at a show. I think I've cut up a few things.
Yeah.
I think I
crowd
cut my
moshing
hand.
hard.
Yeah, but and I know I haven't cried at a show, so I can't say blood, sweat, and tears. But I know there's been a lot of sweat. That's for
A
sure.
lot of sweat.
A little bit of blood.
Yeah.
Almost
cried. Maybe almost cried.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
To be honest, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's some shows that hit different than others. We did with the band. We did Hempfest. That was a sick show. But
that's dope, man. Yeah.
Yeah, we did some crazy shit because it was, I don't know, it's kind of different when I mean, just looking at it from being on both sides of like the band and like being just a local MC, the bands get so like I was a rapper with the band, but they didn't look at it like that. They looked at it as a rock show that was coming in. So like we were doing shows at any bar we wanted to do. We could go to any bar and do it. But like as we all know, trying to get hip hop shows, people love to think there's a bad rap with them, even though I mean I don't think any show I've ever done there was an issue at, or any show that I've been to a lot of shows too. I used to go into the Middle East all the time. Like
exactly, yeah.
So like I don't know, hip hop just it gets a bad rap, and I feel bad, like because we're for the most part we're good people. There's some bad eggs out there, but that's every walk of life.
Exactly.
But like
you could say that about like dang, they're like like any genre where the music there's aggression to the music. You could say about rock, you could say about metal, you could say that about even certain like maybe dubstep. There's more it's like sometimes those crowds like they go a little hard, so like it can the crowd might be a little aggressive. So yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah, it's unfortunate that like hip hop shows have through the ages gotten those type of stigmas. Yeah.
Yeah, and like I don't know, I didn't mean to bring it there. Like I didn't mean to bring
definitely
it to
no, definitely not. It's all good.
But like I said, I mean, I went out to LA. We were in fucking South Central, and like it was Mission Underground in like 2014. So it was like 1,000 people there or whatever, 500 people, whatever, however many people there were there, and like no fucking issues. And people think, like South Central, ooh, these gangs. Like, this kid that was from out here that I was waiting to chill with afterwards. He was supposed to perform. I had already performed. I was hanging with him, waiting for him to go on, and then we were gonna go to his boy lived out in Compton. We were gonna go over there. Fucking kid ends up ditching me. Fucking like loses his phone, whatever. Doesn't end up performing. I can't find him, whatever. But like, I'm waiting for my ride back to the hotel, to my hotel, and like I'm just out on South Central. I walk over to 7-Eleven. I'm chilling with people. Like it's just it's how people carry themselves.
Exactly.
Like
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I was this dude from Boston. If anybody wanted to fuck with me, they could tell right off my accent that I wasn't from out there. Like,
Exactly. Yeah.
but like they were like, they called me Boston, and I'm like, I'm technically not from Boston. I don't, because around here everybody's like, you ain't from Boston, dude.
Yeah, always
I
so,
mean,
so picky about it. Yeah.
I'm from Weymouth, to set the record straight.
Okay. Yeah. Yep.
So, but like I said, it's all about how you carry yourself, and
the energy you bring too. Yeah, you know what I mean. Like it's, if you're not looking for trouble, you're just being friendly and deciding to have a good time. Like 98% of the time, like 99% of the time, no one's gonna try to mess with you or pick a fight with you. That aura you bring into places, it really goes a long way. So
yeah, exactly. And I mean, hell, shout out to Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, I was saying, I didn't even I wasn't even trying to make a call to your shirt, but yeah, it's.
I know, right?
It's definitely
It was a good one though. You picked up on it.
Yeah, I definitely spy that out, man. I definitely want to ask you with the doing a cover band, because I didn't know you were a part of that, and I think that's says it definitely makes sense with how you perform and your presence on stage, all that experience. But what's one thing that you learned about just live performance, music in general, from being in a cover band? Because I feel like there's a lot of benefits from being a part of something like that.
So, I mean, first off the rip, first show we did, we all got paid. Everybody got paid.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like I said, we did 3 45-minute sets throughout the night. And usually what would happen was, I was in a duo at the time with my boy Ferreira too. We went by E&F.
Mm-hmm.
I was like 22 or 23 at this time. Maybe 24. I forget. It was a handful of years ago. But one of the best things I learned about that, because I was in a group beforehand too with about 7 kids. We were the Have-Notters, and that will always be where I started at. That will always be home.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Smash Made too. That's home too.
I know, but I feel
too. I've known Sean. I mean, Sean was around when we were making the Have-Notters. Like, Sean was around back then, and he was, I don't even remember. He was like 14 or 15, and we were like 17, 18, however many years older I am. I mean, granted, some of the Have-Notters were also like 23, 24, there was fucking 7 of us. So, but anyways,
big group.
Yeah, as even just between both groups, learning so much, like, because with the Have-Notters, what was part of it, there was a ton of different shit that happened, but like one of the bigger parts of our downfall was like everybody wanted to be on every record, and like when you got 7 people, you can't have 7 people on every song. You can't have every song ain't 10 minutes, and every voice, like every voice ain't meant to be on every song either. Mm-hmm. Because I mean, not to say that we can't all rap to the same beat, but we're all going to come up with something different. So anyways, between that, like, that was one of the things I noticed with the Have-Notters, but then with the band, because everyone was their own different piece. And like, these dudes were all in their 40s. They had all done a couple bands before. Like, nobody was like, ego wasn't as big of a thing. It was till the end, like towards the end a little bit, it got a little more, but that was also like, I'll say this, and I'm not, how do I say this?
Out?
No, I'm not calling anyone out, but okay,
I was like, where are we going?
I'm not free of it either. But like drugs and alcohol, they can fucking tear up a good thing. Um, you know, that was in my eyes probably the biggest lesson of both of those was like, because the drugs and the alcohol, it's all a good time, until the shit runs out, and certain shit happens that you can't go back and change when you're fucked up like that. And like, I mean, granted, like I wasn't the most fucked up. I definitely wasn't. Like if I talked about what I did, like some people might think it's normal. I don't know. My friends and I were always a different breed. But even as far as like the band, not everybody in the band, but a couple of people in the band, myself included, like I was a big drinker. I was one of those, I drink and I can't stop. I don't have to drink every day.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And like the party was never over for me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So like,
I feel that.
3, 4 in the morning, I'm still going around looking for, where's the next party at? But, and like some of my friends were like that, but some of my other friends were a little different too. As far as, what they also liked. I never did downers or anything like that. Like I said, it was more drinking and like staying up all night. Whatever kept me up all night, I was game for. But the biggest lesson that I learned from the band and from the group, because like I said, the band, we had sold out the Hard Rock Cafe. Like we were going this way, even with 4 guys in their 50s, a guy, 25, and me, 24, however old we were. The very first show we did was Hempfest. And that's
so dope, dude. Yeah, that's big. Yeah.
Like, sorry, no, that was the second show, but
Still.
It was,
yeah.
No, it was Friday. Me and Ferreira left and went to a festival in New York. We performed at the festival at noontime on Saturday. Then we shot a video at the festival with Grind Mode. Then we went to Quincy. I had my first show with the band was that night, and then the next morning we were performing at Hempfest at 12:30. Mm-hmm. So that was like the first weekend with the band. That was one of my favorite weekends ever. I felt like kind of like a rock star. But that being said, I also did all the fucking driving too. So I was fucking dead Saturday night. Sunday, I got my ass to the train because I was like, I ain't fucking driving in to Hempfest and looking for fucking parking.
Nah, you gotta make sure you have a good time so you can do your thing after and not feel any guilt.
Exactly. But like I said, the biggest thing I learned was, egos and alcohol, drugs can really tear up a good thing. So you kind of gotta, as I've gotten older, you kind of learn when, and for me, no time is good for any of that. I haven't drank in 3.5 years.
Oh wow!
So
congrats, man.
Yeah.
Oh wow! Yeah,
Thanks.
That's extremely impressive, and I salute anybody on a road to sobriety and just disciplining themselves from any substance or anything like gambling or just anything of the shopping. Like I salute anybody who can put a halt to those things, man. I think it goes a long way in your life and just overall longevity.
Yeah, thank you. I do appreciate it. And the other thing I'll say I learned a lot was focus on the business side. I'll leave it with a positive message too. Focus on the business side as well as the music. But as musicians, that's what comes naturally to us. And we almost, like, at least for me, didn't think of the business as much when I was younger.
Yeah,
and like,
you
got to remember your name is always a brand. Like,
hell yeah.
I don't know. Some people say any exposure is good exposure. I don't particularly believe in that. Because because if you look like an idiot, you look like an idiot. You
Yeah,
know,
exactly.
like
Like what that's gonna do for you and how people perceive you. It's like, yeah, you get the attention, but what type of attention is that really? Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, man. Dude, the ego thing with groups, you know, it just groups. I just don't. It's hard to keep certain groups together, especially when you're not family. Even when you are family, it's hard to keep it together. So, like, what do you think will happen when a group of 8 talented people get together? You think that's gonna last long, or you think they're could be consistently together? Like, eventually, the thing's gonna break up, come back together. It's like, that's why I even looked at Wu-Tang. Like the fact they did a tour last year and they're able to still keep that together and not completely just break it off. It's absolutely incredible. It's incredible.
That's insane, and that's, I mean, I loved Wu-Tang growing up, but I had never really dove into their story. But seeing I don't know if you ever watched the show on
I need to
Hulu.
get into it. Everyone's telling me I gotta watch it.
And
yeah.
I know it's not totally accurate either. I know they depict some stuff for television and stuff.
For sure.
Ghostface said that on in an interview with he did the Gorilla Nems podcast.
Okay. Yeah.
And he was talking about that on there. So there's certain things that aren't totally true, but like I wish I knew that back when we had our group, because I would have been like, yo, look at all these dudes and look at what it brought them from just sticking together. And like, I mean, no egos, I mean egos, but not egos pushing other egos out the door. Everyone's got an ego.
For sure.
But small, big, but it's when it becomes too much and it becomes overpowering is when it becomes, exactly. But but big salute to Wu-Tang. I love Wu-Tang.
Yeah. No, it's one of the, you're mentioning, egos and groups, and I just had to mention them because that's just such a prime example of, what happens when great minds come together and just lock it in. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's a rare occurrence, man.
Well, and like we had that for a little while, we had like a sneak peek of it, and that's what, I don't want to say it keeps me up at night, but that's the shit that I'm like, damn, like we had a taste of it. The Have Notters, we did a sold out Cassidy, fucking like 2013.
Yeah.
At the Middle East, sold out, the whole crowd chanting Have Notters. Like it was fucking sick. And like we had that shit for like a year. Like we did a contest for Def Jam Music.
Okay. Yeah.
We did like I had done a remix to Started from the Bottom for the Red Sox when they won the World Series this 2013 against the Cardinals.
Okay. Yeah.
And like Ortiz was playing it on his duck boat. The year of the Boston Marathon bombing. We did a song called it was my boy Pro and my boy Ferreira. They did a song called Boston Strong, Boss Staying Strong. That was on like 88.9 when 88.9 was still like a thing.
Yeah. I remember.
That was bumping all around. Like we had some shit that like we could have, if we knew the business side, and we could have just, like you said, been a little bit more like Wu-Tang and just kept that together. I think we'd all be living a little differently right now. But I mean, that's life, though. You can't man. You can't hang your hat on ifs and couldas and shouldas.
Yeah, just take it one step at a time and just move forward, and try to make it best as you move along, man. And I guess that would lead me to ask you about your solo endeavors, and just really dope body of work you put together, man, right here that I gotta ask you about. 29 days since yesterday. Just talk to the people listening about just the how you came up with the title, what made you decide to drop this album now. This is it's a big release, big album to put out there. It's a big deal, so break that down for us.
So the title itself, I had a totally different name for it. But in those 3.5 years where I wasn't drinking, I didn't really do music. I had to take like a step back because that was kind of, you know, like I'd go to the studio and drink and, you know, then it was a party. We weren't making music, whatever, blah, 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 blah. Forget that. So I had taken a couple of years off, and this is where Sean comes in. I fucking love Sean. Sean's a man.
Shout out to Sean Mikes, man. Yeah.
Shout out to Sean Mikes. He was the one because me and him always had a bond. I don't know what it was. We just always hit it off. And he hit me up, and you know, I hadn't really been making music, but I would write, like, if anybody knows me, I write verses. I never wrote hooks. I just write verses, and I'll write.
That's real rap shit.
I just write like 64 bars. That's what I do. Like, I
love
just
it.
do bars.
Yeah.
And Sean had asked me to do like a feature or something, so I was like, yeah, of course I'll do a feature for you. And he's like, yo, I'm doing this Mass Made thing. I'd love for you to be a part of it. Da da da. So I was like, yeah, you know, I'll do it. Yeah. Cause it wasn't a group. It's more of a label, you know? So it wasn't like, it wasn't going to be like the Have Not. It's like, I was going to be able to do my solo shit, which, no offense to the Have Not, is I did solo shit with the Have Not. I just didn't do enough of it.
Yeah.
You know, I'd put out like I had done a couple mixtapes and shit, but like, most of the shit had like features all over it. And like I never felt like I did my own body of work. So when I joined Mass Made, first of all, Sean said the first song I got to do was finish the Chino XL song, Swing, because I had never finished it. I had been sitting on that song for a couple of years. So, which is going to sound crazy because how the fuck do you sit on a Chino XL song?
Yeah.
But that's got a story in itself. I can I can save it because we got to talk about the album right now, but I'll answer that later if you want.
Yeah.
But so that was the first song I did, and I was going to call the album Hollywood East because I was like, you know what, I'm going to come out. I was still Easty at the time. I wasn't Easty The Muscle. And I was like, you know, I'm going to come out and like have this kind of new style because I was always like just a raw rap in your face. You know, I did like 10 grind mode ciphers. I'm always rapping, you know, like, and I have this song that it's not released yet. I'm actually working on it now with Hush. Shout out to Hush. He's been my boy forever too. But it's kind of like a Hollywood kind of song. So that's where I was going to go with it. But it just, when I was writing the album itself, that wasn't how it sounded to me. It didn't sound like a Hollywood album. So I was, you know, kind of pondering it. And my ex, actually, she had given me the idea about, because I was talking about not drinking a lot in it, or, you know, kind of life away from drinking and stuff. So she was like, you know, do something, name it something kind of like that. So the name comes from this might sound bad, but when I first stopped drinking, I went to AA for 6 months, something like that. Just wasn't for me. You know, I liked the group of it and everything, but I just didn't like. I didn't like certain aspects of it.
Understandable. Yeah. I mean,
But when you go into AA and you get that 24-hour chip, you're not thinking about getting 3.5 years. Like, so calling it 3.5 years since yesterday didn't jive with me. But when you get that first 24-hour chip, the next one you want is the 30-day chip. So you got that one. So you just got to go 29 days since yesterday.
Okay, yeah, man. When you word it like that, yeah, 'cause I was gonna say, like, yeah, wording it 29 days since yesterday is so much harder, and then especially through the other stuff you could have named it, like regarding that, like that's yeah, very keen at the word choice, yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
I see what you did, yeah.
but that's where it came from, and I mean, to be honest, like I'm kind of like I go through spurts where I write a ton, and actually, so on the album, like I just said, I don't do hooks. I did a ton of hooks on the album.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't have many features on it. Honestly, that was kind of like me, like practicing with these different hooks and everything, trying out how to even make a hook. I never learned how to make a hook, and I know there's no formula to it, but like, I don't know. I was, like I said, I was always just rap, rap, rap.
Yeah.
So like, and some of the hooks kind of like a little rappy, but like some of them, like Way Down, Mood Swings. I wrote those 2 songs together in like 2 hours. I was just in this mood where I was like, just right. Yeah. And I was just like, the hooks came to me first. And I was like, yeah, I like this hook. Like, that sounds pretty good, actually. I'm like, I might be able to write hooks. So like, so now I'm kind of like fucking with them a little more and stuff. And obviously the intro, I have to do my signature 1,000 bars to start the shit off. But
that's real rap shit. The intro in the album with like just spitting bars. That lets people know like the type of artist you are. And I think throughout the whole album, man, you do such a great job with illustrating like the type of style you're going for, and just being honest in your raps, man. It was very impressive to hear, for real.
Thank you. I do appreciate it. I appreciate you checking it out and everything. I had said to Sean, I don't know how many albums I'm gonna do, because I'm 30 years old right now. Like, and granted, Russ is 31. Russ is blowing up right now. Like, there's people older than me that are just blowing up right now. So like, age when it comes to music and like the business, I mean, I might not have the look of like, I don't have the look of like even like I fucking matched for this.
Yeah.
I don't usually match like that though. Like,
yeah, we chilling,
if I'm out, I do. But like for the most part, like these sweatpants,
yeah,
it's like sweatpants and like a random t-shirt. Like I'm low key. I don't. This is probably the only. I have one other outfit that I know matches itself. That's it. I got 2. It's all I got in my wardrobe. And like, so the next show, I might have something new.
Yep.
And like, not to be like, oh, look at me spending money, but like, I'm gonna have to be like, all right, what color do I like? What what color shoes do I got? All right, I got those color shoes. I got 5 pairs of shoes. I got some Air Maxes. I got 2 pairs of Jordans. I got my work boots, and I got these nice, I don't know, dress shoes. So like, I don't got much to match with.
That's fine, man. I don't think people, when it comes to the whole clothing aspect of things, like I think sometimes you can definitely get lost in it, and then it'll spend a shit ton of money. But sometimes it's just good to just be honest with who you are and what you like to wear, and just not force it. And definitely don't be spending money on clothes you really can't afford. That drives me crazy when people do that.
I mean, I clean drains for a living. I ain't that deep of a person, like like I work 40, 50, 60 hours a week. But anyways, back to the album. I'm not that dude that's out here styling on everybody. I'm a hardworking motherfucker, whether it's working on the job, whether it's in the studio, whether it's shooting a video, whatever I'm working on, I'm working on it hard. That's the bottom line. I'm blue collar. That's it. I roll up my sleeves, get my hands dirty, and I like helping out however I can. So like, I'm always there. I'm not always there. I try to always be there to help people when I can help people. If I see something that I can help, I'll do it. But back to the album. That being said, how I had said to Sean, I don't know if I'm just going to do one album or whatever. Just because it had been so long since I really performed and everything. Like there was, when I was with the band and we were doing ENF too, and I was even doing solo shit back then, it was like 200 shows in a year, 250 shows in a year that we did.
Oof.
And like,
working, man. That's a lot of shows, no matter who you
yeah.
are.
And like, I was running an open mic for a little while at this old dive bar. That was my home, Hajaz. It's not around anymore.
Oh, okay.
But that was my old watering hole. But so we would like, I was out and I was drinking and partying every night too, because life was a party. Like you said, I was young, 22, 23. Like I thought I was invincible. I was living like I was invincible.
What's a hangover? Yeah.
Exactly. Like, I'll get rid of it. I know how to get rid of it, And like, I don't know. I kind of lost my tangent there.
No, I mean, yeah, you're talking about just wondering, not trying to make another album, and or after this one, or like what you plan on doing after, based on your age and stuff, and the type of person you are.
That being said, yeah, thank you for bringing me back on point.
Gotcha.
I warned you I might go off.
No, man, but you say real shit though, so it don't matter. Yeah, that's all. Yeah.
But as far as that being said, I'm already working on album number 2, so I ain't done with just one.
I was gonna say, I was like, the type of way music you create, and like how I just you come across. Yeah, I'm like, I'm not surprised.
Well, when I said it to Sean, I said, I'm just gonna make this album right. I'm just gonna focus on this album right now, because I was always focused on like trying to do a tape with this producer at the same time, doing a project with this dude, and doing something else, and doing my own shit, and still doing the group shit. So like, trying to have my hands in everywhere, and doing the band and this. So I said, I just want to make this album, and I don't care if people play it or not. Like, I'm just gonna put it out there.
Exactly.
If people like it, they like it. If they hate it, they hate it. If it's somewhere in the middle, it's somewhere in the middle. Like, I don't care. I wasn't like, I'm not like, I don't know. I guess it's fairly humble of me or whatever. I don't know if you want to put it that way. It's not humble to call yourself humble, but like, I'm not. I don't have all these fans that I'm gonna like put out an album and be like, all right, now we're going on a little tour. All right, we're gonna go up and down the East Coast. Like,
you gotta do things differently. Yeah.
Yeah, and like that's why. And granted, yeah, like if I look at my Spotify, stats or whatever, I get a lot of plays in places I never thought I'd ever get played in.
Yeah.
Actually, like fucking Weymouth. I got like 10 plays from Weymouth. Yeah, I got all these hundreds of plays. I got hundreds of plays in countries I've never been in before. So like, I mean, that's what's so cool about the internet these days. Like when I was coming up, like I was selling my first mixtape for $5 out of my high school locker.
Oh yeah, the days of making CDs. I was at the tail end of that.
Dude, I remember. I bought the donut. Donut full of 100 CDs. I bought all the cases, and I spent I didn't do my homework. I just spent like one whole week, fucking after school every day, printing up all these. And I don't think I have them anymore. I think I threw them out. But
yeah, it's you can nowadays.
No, there's a spot on the internet you can still hear them.
Okay, yeah. Well, in terms of like making CDs and like people using them for real, yeah.
I had one of my boys from high school, like 2 or 3 years ago. I had sent the high school group a picture of my first mixtape, and I was like, "You guys remember this?" And this kid goes, "I still want my signed copy." I'm like, "Bro, nobody's getting this CD. Like I'm throwing this shit out. I'll sign the next one I do for you." So when I get these ones printed up, because I am going to do like a small little run, probably like 100 physical CDs.
Yeah, that's solid. Yeah, and that's good merch. That's good things. Yeah, that works. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, and I mean, like I said, I'm not famous, but I'll sign them. If something ever happens, somebody's gonna have something cool of mine. They're gonna be like, "Yo, I have his fucking first album," And like I said, I'm not somebody. I'm gonna switch it a little bit here.
That's fine.
Somebody had questioned my, because I've been doing this since I was fucking 13 years old, 14 years old.
Yeah. So you got like
Yeah,
16, 17
15,
years on
16.
this shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
God damn.
So like I've been doing this for a long time, and like there was a time where I thought I was gonna be like famous. But I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna like yeah, and like I don't even go around and call myself a rapper anymore, like because everyone's
You
a
gotta
rapper.
move. Yeah, you gotta move. You get when you're a rapper, especially not even just like a singer, in a band. But you gotta. I think all artists look at it that way. Like you have to move in a way. Because if you just, you wear it on your sleeve too much, it comes off very to some people.
Yeah.
So you gotta
and
move, move properly and just show them. Don't tell them. Just show them. Like,
yeah.
just let them come across it. Yeah.
And like, so somebody like really close to me had said, like within the past year, had said, you're not gonna be famous. Like, what the fuck are you even doing this for?
Yeah.
And I was,
Jesus.
yeah, and I'm like,
so pessimistic.
yeah, and I'm like, I mean, the grand, that person not so much in my life like they were at that point. We'll leave it at that. But
yeah.
And I'm not taking shots. Like it was something that was said, and like, yeah, I kind of took it as like bulletin board material. Like I'm a big sports guy. Bill Belichick, the king of bulletin board material.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Before the Super Bowl versus the Eagles, showed them they got the parade route. Like that's me. Like I'm like fucking bulletin board material. So like now you just gave me a reason to go harder a little bit. Like I wasn't even doing this to be famous or nothing, but now I'm gonna do a couple of extra
Challenge
videos.
accepted.
Now and like granted, that being said, I still don't think I'm gonna be famous, but like there's people, like I just said, there's people in countries that I will probably never go to that fucking listen to me, and like that blows my mind to begin with. Like I was never expecting that, and like I said, my hometown fucking got like 10 plays. Like, thanks, guys.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
I fucking yell Weymouth on half my songs. Like I let everybody know that's where I'm from. But
nah, Canada got you.
I know, right? For real. No, shout out
Canada
Brazil.
Brazil, yeah.
Shout out Brazil for real. And Chile. They love me in Chile.
Yeah, man.
I love hot peppers. I know it ain't the same thing, but like
Yeah, right. Yeah, well, let's get tied together. Yeah.
But so that was like I said, I just had to get that off in there at some point.
Nah, talk that shit, man. Nah, I feel you, and I think
So now that's why I was gonna say that's why I'm getting like I'm just gonna keep going. Like I'm setting up an album release party. It's already released, but like I'm setting up a show. Handful of the kids that grew up with me. Obviously my Mass Made crew will be in there with me. But I got a few of my have-notters coming with me, and my boy, I'm trying. Hush is in for it. We just got to figure out the date and everything.
Line that up
but like that, yeah, and that's gonna be like the show for the album. We're not doing, obviously, like I said, I ain't finding a bar in Connecticut to go rap at on a Thursday night. Like, it is what it is. But I'm already rolling into the next album. So, and now it's just kind of like, I got the freedom to do what I want a little bit.
It's all in your control now. Yeah.
I got nothing holding me back. In fact, like I'm an old man. I don't know half this internet shit. Like Sean helps me with half this shit. Like
you got on the Zoom call well though. You did.
Yeah, no, I definitely I should give myself a little more credit for technology. I know some shit.
Promote yourself
like,
on social media.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, some of that's Sean too. Like some of that's him being like, "Yo, you got to put this up today."
We all
be like, "Oh, all right, word, all right."
Some help's always good. Yeah.
But like it's, I mean, it's a different day and age too. So it's arguably easier to get famous now.
Yeah, I would say so. I would definitely say so. I mean, the tools are there for you. You can, and you got enough money, just push yourself. Bam! Now you reach thousands of people.
Exactly. And like, I don't want to. I used to just, like I said, be a boss, as we used to call them back in the day, boss spitters.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And I can still do that, but like, I'm like, at this point, I'm like, I want to make like
Songs.
music.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like something with like some
Produced
substance.
yeah. Yeah.
Like I was always just more so like, give me that fire beat. Let me fucking rap. And like, I'll just fucking, and like, the only way you're going to get famous doing that these days is like, be on like a podcast and just like stop fucking boom. Like,
yeah, things just have to, the
5
stars have
minutes
to
straight.
align very hard for those type of things to go that way. And I still think there's, mediums for that and ways to become that, but I don't think it's just a lot tougher, but it's definitely possible still. People still appreciate that type of rapping and doing it in that form. I don't think it's dumbed down. I think you can just find any type of rap you want nowadays, for sure.
Yeah. And like, I don't want to be, boxing myself in like you have a handful of different styles like that I enjoy. So like, I would like to have different styles that I can just, I got in my back pocket. Like,
yeah,
and
for sure. I don't want to put yourself in a box, and what you want to make, what you want to make. Just simple as that. And I think as long as it comes from you, from a genuine place, the fans will understand. It's not like you're gonna fuck around and make a country song or something.
Yeah. I mean, that being said,
yeah, I don't know. I'm just throwing a random genre. I like country. I'm just
no. Well, it's funny that you say that because like this kid that I went to high school with, he's actually like he's pretty big country singer right now. Like he plays in New York and Nashville and shit. Like,
oh, lit, yeah.
I don't know that scene that well, but I'm like, I actually just recently hit him up and I was like, yo, I want you to sing a hook on this song.
Yeah.
Like, bring your fucking country twang in here. And he's like, oh, let me check it out. It's not really like a country. Yeah, it's not really like a country song, but like I think this dude would sound fire on the hook. But like, just trying to be more authentically me too, because like, I mean, I'll be honest, I'm Easty the Muscle. Like, I'm no fucking gangster. Nothing like that. Like, I don't try to come across like that. Like,
no, for sure. You don't do that in your music at all. I didn't listen to you and thought like, man, like he comes from like this, like gang life. I didn't.
Yeah, like, but like, I'm not like
that. Yeah.
I'm. That being said, somebody who runs up on me, I will handle business.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
but like, I'm not.
Yeah, you're going to protect yourself. Yeah.
I'm not going out there looking for problems. I'm not pretending like I'm some crazy drug dealer. Like, I sold weed in college and a little after college to smoke for free.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I never made no profit.
Break even. Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said before, I was, I like my alcohol. Well, I always loved weed too, but regardless, I still smoke weed. So even at that, Easty the Muscle, can I just tell a little quick story about that?
Yeah. Quick story.
So, yeah, I love working out. I go to the gym every day. I fucking drink protein. I do all that shit,
The cover shows it, yeah.
well, Easty the Muscle. It's not. I don't call myself Easty the Muscle because I think I'm fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger or something.
No.
Easty the Muscle came from one night. This was back in the Have Notters days. One of my boys got in this fight on Facebook before a show that we were doing in Providence. And this fucking random Facebook kid was like, yo, I'm going to come to your show tonight and I'm going to beat your ass.
Oh, shit.
And like, I was driving my boy to, I was driving my boy to the show. So I'm like, and my boy wasn't backing down either on Facebook. So I'm like, all right, yeah, let's, like, I'm driving you down. If we get in a fight, I'm going down swinging with you. And so before I went to pick him up, because he lived in Fall River at the time, two of the other kids in the group were at this other house, and I stopped there, had a drink, go figure, and so they're like, "Yo, you're rolling down." They weren't going to the show. And they were like, "Yo, you picking up so and so?" I don't want to throw his name under the bus.
No.
He knows who he is though. So they're like, "Yo, you going to pick him up?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And they go, he's gonna get in a big fight tonight, huh? And I'm like, not with me around. And they go, oh, yeah. And I was fucking like 21. Wasn't even really in the gym like that at this point. And they said, yeah, they go, you got his back? And I go, they don't call me the muscle for no reason. And like, it was just a joke. It just like, but that it stuck. Easty was now Easty the Muscle. So like,
the legend was
granted
born.
that wasn't my stage name or anything. I was just Easty, but like everything at that point was Easty the Muscle, like Instagram, Twitter. So then, and that was just my nickname. That was just like, it was a funny joke that like, but when I got with Mass Made, if you look up Easty on any streaming services, like 10 Easties. So Easty the Muscle helps me stand out.
Exactly.
Granted, now I'm in the gym. That being said, too, anybody that's got anything to say, there's, people talking on fucking, I seen comments and shit. He got no muscle. I got motherfucking muscle.
Mm-hmm.
I am not gonna ruin my body with steroids to try and look like some thumb.
Yeah,
That's not
really mess up your health. There's way more cons and pros than taking that shit, dude. Yeah, don't do
exactly.
that.
But like,
I don't advocate for
it. Like, I'm out here, bro. I am out here. So like, but that being said, I just wanted to throw that in there about Easty the Muscle, because everyone always just assumes it's because he goes to the gym.
I wasn't even going to ask you what the name meant, because I just assumed already. So I actually appreciate you telling the whole story behind it and how it's a lot more lighthearted and funnier than what people
It was
think.
honestly like, I said it kind of like back in the day, like the mob, they used to have the henchman was the muscle.
Yeah.
And that's what I was like. I'm the muscle of the have-notters. What do you mean?
Yeah.
And granted, fucking 3 kids in the have-notters were, I mean, I'm 5'6",
mm-hmm.
fucking 165, 170 pounds. There's a couple have-notters at 6'3", 225. These dudes, like, if we're getting in a fight, like, they're going to be mopping the floor. I'm going to be taking the smaller people out.
Yeah.
Like,
we take him on. He's my height.
Well, like, it did happen one time. We did have a big brawl, not at a show or anything, but regardless, another story for another time. But as far as your question about dropping the album right now, I dropped it on St. Paddy's Day because all my years of drinking, St. Paddy's Day was my Christmas. I'm Irish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So St. Paddy's Day was my Christmas. Wake up, fucking start drinking.
Mm-hmm.
Wear green and fucking drink green beer.
Mm-hmm.
So I always used to perform on St. Paddy's Day. And by the time I got to the shows, I would be fucking wrecked. I'd still, like, arguably sometimes I would have, obviously, most times I'd have more energy when I was drunk. But I was always one to perform fucked up.
One of those performers.
Yeah.
I always surprised me when people could perform like super turn. Yeah.
Oh, and like, we thought we'd sounded great. Some nights we did, but other nights we just sounded like a bunch of angry kids fucking yelling in the mic. But like, and that's probably what we were. But like, so the reason why I put it out on St. Paddy's Day was because of, A, the album title, as I explained, but B, because that was such a big day for me when I used to drink. I was like, it should be a big day for me when I don't drink too. So now it'll always be the anniversary of my first album. So
perfect timing, man, and just works out. It was on a Friday too, and most people drop music and stuff like that, so it just all tied together, man. I think it's it's dope what you can do with music to really just illustrate to people like where you are in your life now. And I think that's dope. I didn't even think about when you dropped it and tied it all together too. So
everything's got a little story behind it, like even as far as the name,
man.
Everything in my life got a little bit of a story behind it. That's why I get off on these tangents, because everything connects into another in a little tiny way, one way or another.
Yeah, but dude, I definitely say, man, I appreciate, all the, the stories and experience and all this shit you got, man. I think it's been really dope to hear, dude. I've been intrigued by everything you've been talking about, dog, for real, man. And I think
Thank you.
the listeners will benefit from it. And if y'all ain't familiar with Easty, now and didn't want to check out the album, I'd feel like now you want to go and peep that, man. You know what I mean? And
I appreciate it. And I appreciate you having me, brother. It's an experience. To be honest, this is the first podcast I've ever been a guest on. So
man, wow, well, I appreciate it, man. That's dope to hear. I'm glad. This is the first one for you, dog.
You broke my cherry, bro.
Yeah. TempahZone podcast, man. Let's go, dog. Let's go. Before we wrap this one up, man, I definitely got to ask you, with someone of your experience and everything you've done in your career thus far, man, I got to ask, what's some advice you'd give to any artist starting out in the game? What's some points or tips that you'd give them that you wish someone gave you when you started out?
Like I said earlier, the biggest one I probably learned as I've gotten older is focus on the business too, because the music is going to come naturally. If you're an artist, the music itself you're going to make the music regardless. Exactly. But you got to focus on that business side of it too. And that doesn't mean because I think I did it wrong a little bit. Like, it doesn't mean doing 200 shows, performing at 200, 250 shows in a year. I think if we did half that amount of shows and took the rest of that time and put it into, more student, that was like during ENF time. ENF had fucking 3 songs. We only made 3 songs. We made 4, but we had so many other songs from Have Notters that we were able to perform 200 times in a year. And we do the same set and people loved it. And half the set was shit that we had hooks for that we never recorded the verses for. And even some of them we recorded, we never finished mixing them, so there's, literally, I think maybe, I think 9 songs, if we made enough songs to have an album or 2 albums out in a year, Ferreira, my boy F Styles, best hook maker I've ever heard. The kid can hear a beat and make a fucking hit record.
Yeah, just off rip. Yeah, that's a talent, man.
He's
big talent to have,
and he can change his voice. I can't really sing. Granted, a couple of the new shit I'm working on, I'm singing a little bit.
Some melodies,
but I got a more rugged voice. He's got that smooth voice. I don't know. Mikey's he's a few years older than me. Shout out F Styles. Shout out all the Have Notters. Hell
yeah, man.
But and rest in peace, Chucky. But Ferreira, dude, since I met him, that dude could fucking, and so he did the hooks, and he'd still spit a verse too, and his verses were nasty. He had almost like a Styles P, he's F Styles.
Yeah.
Sounds he was weird. He'd have a Styles P kind of vibe, but kind of sound like Jada.
Wow. That's a dope mix.
Yeah, and we used to so the one song that we have out, we did a video for, fucking had 1,000 streams in fucking a week. We were maybe not even a week. I don't know. That's what these, but back then, I mean, this was 6 or 7 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, it was just a 1.5 minute fucking video of me and him rapping back and forth.
Yeah,
but it was
all you need sometimes, man. Yeah.
It was over this fire ass beat, and half the video was at the Middle East, half the video was at some other show that we did, and so the advice is, don't just focus on the music, because that's going to come. Don't just focus on the art. I'm not going to hold it to just musicians. Whatever the art is, don't solely focus on the art. If you're an artist, that's what your talent is. You're going to be able to do that regardless. If you fucking chop this hand off. You're still going to be able to use your left hand to fucking paint that picture one way or another. Focus on the business side of it, because at the end of the day, you're a brand and you got to build yourself up. You're not going to, I mean, this is where I'm at. I'm 15, 16 years in.
Yeah.
All I got to show for it is to tell you that I sold out the Hard Rock. I performed at Hempfest. I went to Mission Underground in 2014. We sold out the Hard Rock, the Middle East with Cassidy in 2014. You know, my song, which you can't even find it on YouTube anymore because my old YouTube got hacked. But I had fucking David Ortiz playing my song on the duck boat. Like, that's so dope. That's all cool shit. Yeah, it's like it's cool shit. Yeah. But like I got no money to show for it. I got no And granted, like that was part of my downfall too. Like I was always, like I said, I like to help people out. So I was always helping. I was driving everyone everywhere. And I'm not saying this to be pity party or anything. Like I did that to myself. But if I after focus, the fact, if I focus more on me and getting my shit done, then I don't know if things would be different, but I'd have a lot more confidence in being versatile with my music right now. I'd have more confidence that my name, and like people know my name, but like you walk by most people on the street, nobody's gonna know who I am. You know?
It's not that type of famous. Yeah, that's
but like
type. Yeah,
like maybe like who knows? Maybe fucking, you know, if I just kept the momentum rolling, you know, that's another
what could have been.
Another good piece of advice is keep whatever momentum you got, you keep it rolling.
You got it. Yeah. So momentum is the biggest thing as an artist. I feel sometimes, you know, you gotta just. But sometimes people just it's tough, man. It's so freaking tough, and you know, and sometimes people just want to rely on luck to blow up, and just that one lucky song, boom, and they don't put no money into it. They don't register it and copyright it. There's like 15 steps people skip and just like do like 3 of them. It's like no, you gotta do it all.
Exactly.
It gets deep. It gets deep in the business side. It's a whole different ballgame.
It does. I mean, we didn't used to buy the beats. Like we were those people.
Like just like that, like, buying beats and leases and exclusivity. Yeah.
YouTube to MP3. We were fucking doing that, cutting out the tags and the beats. And then fucking making these. Dude, we made so much.
Producers, it's funny. It's just.
Yeah, I'm sorry we did that. There's
sorry to the producers
that called us up. There's producers that call us out. I pay for everything now. I pay for the producers now. I will. Anybody putting their work into my work, I always used to expect shit for free. That was the other mindset that I was in too, because I was the rapper. I'm the fucking one, bro. So like, it don't matter. Like, what do you mean? Like I regret that. You know, I probably left a sour taste in some people's mouths. That being said, never stole from a producer that I knew.
Good. Yeah.
You know, never cut a beat from a producer that I knew, unless I paid them for it, or because there are producers that will give me shit for free. So obviously, you know, if somebody gives you a free beat, I'm going to use the free beat. That being said, if something blows up, obviously I'm going to pay the dude too.
Yeah, you know after the fact, I'm sure that everybody's compensated properly.
Yeah, like I'm not out here to be a scumbag. Like that being said, the producers that give me free shit, like I give them free verses too. So like, it's, you know, it's a trade more so than saying I get it for free. Like shout out my boy P Blaze, made the Chino XL beat. I did the fucking 2.5 minute free verse for him on his album. He asked me to be on it, and then he sent me the beat, Chino XL. Not simultaneously, but like, you know, shortly thereafter. And I had another video that I did over one of his beats. now me and him gonna start working on a project. So like, you know, I don't like to say, yeah, I don't like to say like live with regrets, because that's not what I'm saying at all. But like,
No.
I got some of these regrets that I wish we did shit differently back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
So the biggest thing is, yeah, like everybody's working. So pay the producer. If you're doing shows, get your merch right. You know, because you're gonna look a lot more professional having even just T-shirts or even just fucking business cards. You know, something that somebody can leave
stickers, just something. Yeah.
Exactly.
Wristbands, do anything. Yeah.
And
you gotta,
just focus on that business side.
Mm-hmm.
Just focus on that business side. Like I said, merch, pay the producers, because then you can put the shit on streaming platforms.
Wherever you can do whatever. Yeah, you can really. Yeah,
you can do whatever you want with it. Mm-hmm. For the most part, you know, get your videos right.
Yeah, man.
And there's a fine line between being cocky and like arrogant, as opposed to being confident in yourself.
In this rap game, you need a yes.
You need you need to be confident, but like there's like a cockiness that like, and again, I'm not the best around here. Like I think, and I will forever think, my boy Tootie, best rapper to come out of South Shore. I will fucking fight people
right there. Yeah,
I will fight people about that. Like that's my fucking dog. He hasn't rapped in fucking 2-3 years. He'll still out rap any motherfucker.
He's just got it like that. Yeah.
He's a fuck, and his songs are fucking incredible too. So like he's an artist. But anyways, like I said, I'm not the best out here, but like there are people that walk around and that are fucking terrible and like act like they fucking like
they shit
like
don't stink.
Everybody owes them something.
Yeah.
Or like like their shit doesn't stink. Like humble yourself, because if you don't, the fucking world will humble you real quick.
Yeah, one way or the other, the humbling tends to find somebody in their own way, and sometimes it just takes getting older, rather than like a big ass, overnight experience or 1 week experience, but it'll eventually catch up to you. It always does.
Like, and like I thought for a little while, and like shout out to Grind Mode, shout out to Lingo. Lingo's my fucking dog. And shout out all my boys down in Grind Mode and ladies. But for a while I was like just content with doing the Grind Mode ciphers, because I did Chino XL, I did Diabolic, like I had the fucking crazy verse on Brawl and the Bean that I named every fucking Boston rapper in it, like in a scheme. So like I was like, yo, I got this, bro. Mm-hmm. Like, who are you? Like these videos get fucking Chino XL, the video me and him did, the cipher that we all did, fucking got like, I don't know, 700,000 views.
Yeah.
And like, granted, how many of those are for Easty?
Yeah.
Maybe 1,000. Maybe 1,000. But like,
cool.
most of them are for, I'm real with myself, like that was the problem back in the day. I wasn't totally real with myself. I was like, yeah. And like, not to say that I was, because I've always been pretty humble. So like I did a battle one time right before I stopped drinking, a few months before I stopped drinking. And this dude still battles today. He was fresh into the battle, and back then I had never battled in my life. Shout out to Locke Banner.
I'm surprised you did battle rapping, man. Yeah, your rapping style, like it just it gets, that energy is definitely like in there for sure.
Oh, I grew up watching rap battles all the time. But anyways, this is just like a humbling story.
Yeah.
It's like I said, like so Locke is the man. He's a great dude. You know, and he can fucking rap his ass off too. And I learned that the hard way.
I
He
learned that the hard way. Yeah.
you know, he Hush was doing battles about 4 years ago, and I just had this confidence, this arrogance about me. I thought my shit didn't stink, and I wouldn't come on your podcast and act like that, but like when in my eyes, like John Locke was just starting out, like I was like, he's a fucking nobody. Like I'm gonna smash this dude, and like, granted, I prepped for like a couple of weeks, but like I said, I had never battled before. I gotta like everybody that battles, that is different than performing at a show.
Oh
You
yeah,
got your track.
That rap is like
You
so different.
it's like so much respect to those dudes, especially the ones that can just flip it right off the top too. But like, I had these, and like, granted, I'm still gonna sound a little cocky. I think if I wasn't drinking, I think I would have beat him because I forgot half my shit and I started mixing up my rounds. And like my third round, instead of being a minute and a half or however long it was supposed to be, it was like fucking 30 seconds.
Oh, no,
I didn't choke.
Yeah.
I didn't choke. I just said, I finished this bar and I was like, that's it. Because I knew in my head, I'm like, I don't got nothing else. But that was a humbling experience for me because he fucking whooped my ass in that battle.
Oh man.
And like,
oh boy,
I was still drinking for a few months after that, and like, I was so fucking, and it was the alcohol too, because the alcohol do that to you. But it had me believing that no, I really didn't lose. Everyone just conspired against me. I know they didn't conspire against me. Like he was sober. Maybe he was tripping or something. I don't know. But like he was fucking, like he was on his shit. He was ready. I fucking thought I was just gonna walk in because you know what it was at the beginning of the battle. I had like a setup, and I said something about I'm the precedent. I'm here to set the what's your preference? I'm here to set the precedent. Are you an optimist, a pessimist? Is this glass half full? And I grabbed a glass of water and I fucking threw it on him.
Oh shit!
And I was like, because I was ready. Like I actually went into the night of the battle. I rehearsed. I had like 4 of my boys with me at the house, rehearsing, fucking going over everything, drinking beers, and like me being fucked up. Like I was also expecting to like do a little something extracurricular before like to straighten me out. Didn't happen, but like either way, I don't think it would have been good anyways. But I went there and like in the car on the way there, I'm like, I just hope when I throw this water on him, he fucking swings at me, and that's the battle.
God damn, yeah.
Because like I was at that point because I was like I was starting to realize like maybe I got too fucked up, and I was like, so when I walked in, I kind of like I didn't give him a heads up, but I was like, gotta watch yourself, like cooking. I said something like,
definitely antagonizing words there.
well, no, I was like, I said, you better be ready. I said something about you better be ready. Like, didn't tell him that I was going to throw water on him, but was like, I said something. Maybe I even said something about like, I hope you're ready to fight or something like that.
Yeah, just
like
really
trying to like, getting it like a little bit, antagonizing a little bit, you know. But that was like the most humble experience, as far as like recently. And to be honest, like some people might have thought that's why I stopped rapping because like I got my ass kicked.
Yeah, that will
It's
definitely do
not.
something to you when you lose like that.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
man.
not.
Yeah.
Because I was gonna try to battle somebody else, this other kid that I knew, but I just don't. Like I said, I got so much respect for the battlers, and maybe now that I'm, level headed and stuff, I could probably give it a shot again. But that's a whole different animal.
Yeah,
Um,
battle rapping takes a lot of different just energy out of you. It's very different than making a song. It's
yeah,
just not it's just a different type of ball game.
you
Yeah.
got to have a punchline that makes everyone laugh, that also makes everyone go, "Oh shit!" And then you talk about how big your gun is. And if in my
I'll pick your goodness. Yeah.
whole and like in my whole battle, I never. I mean, in my whole album, I never talk about guns because you know I'm not. I got my vape and I got my weed vape.
Yeah.
That's what I.
That's
That's what
all,
I.
yeah.
Those those are those
Yeah.
things I keep on me.
Yeah, those are the yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and they used to. And they used to.
Yeah, yeah.
But um, like I said, so that just brings it back to humble yourself before the world humbles you.
Mm. I love
Because
that,
the
man.
world ain't the
Yeah.
world ain't nice when it humbles you.
No, it's not, man. And it'll set you straight in the only way it can, man. Absolutely, dog. But yeah, Easty, I really appreciate your time, man. This has been a very,
Bro, I
very
appreciate
dope
you.
episode, man. Yeah, yeah. This has definitely been a fun-filled episode with a lot of just knowledge and game on it, man. So I really appreciate your time, man, for real.
I appreciate you having me, brother. Whenever you want to do it again, I'm fucking ready.
Yeah, man. No,
Um,
I got you, dog. And we can definitely set it up a different way. We even make it more topical and bring up, different other, other stuff too, But obviously, with this being the first time on, we had to talk about, everything Easty and your whole
hell
story,
yeah.
man, and just what you got going on, man. So I really appreciate the time, man.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you being the first podcast that I've ever done.
Yeah,
Um,
hell yeah, dog.
I appreciate you checking out the album and having everybody that listens to the TempahZone.
Yes, sir.
Now they'll be checking it out. I appreciate you opening them up to me.
Oh yeah,
Everybody can follow me at Easty The Muscle,
run it up, run
Instagram,
it up.
Twitter, Facebook. I think TikTok too. I don't really post on TikTok, but I do like a couple little things here and there.
Yeah, it's better than nothing. Yeah, that's what I'm talking
I'm
about.
learning. That's that new technology,
Yeah, yeah, the new tech. Yeah, hell yeah, man.
But
Yes, sir.
Easty the Muscle everywhere. I represent Mass Made Media. So go follow Mass Made Media. Follow my boy Sean Mike's IMCXP. Follow my guy Amir Max and the
Yes, sir.
TempahZone podcast.
Yes, yes.
Follow me. Follow yourselves. Believe in yourselves, and crush life every day, one day at a time. Whatever you got to do, whatever's in your way, just keep stepping through that obstacle. Stepping on those stepping stones.
Exactly, man. Y'all heard it, y'all. Ladies and gentlemen, that's been another episode of the TempahZone podcast. Make sure you tune in next week for another episode. Alrighty, y'all.
Yeah, you.
Peace out.
Peace.